Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the LA Chargers, but more specifically Mike Williams, and going over whether or not he will have a breakout year in 2021. But before getting to that topic, question for those of you viewing, comment down below, where do you see Mike Williams finishing this year amongst receiving yards? I don't need an exact number of 1,064. Just give me a range, plus 1,000, plus 1,100, plus 1,200. Give me a decent broad range where we could get an ideal dot of what you're talking about, and I'll give my answer at the end. Getting straight into it though, again, I want to make it clear what breakout year is kind of being defined as. Mike Williams, he's hit the 1,000 mark threshold before, but still a guy that's been taken very early in the first round, hasn't really lived up to the hype, and it still has some question marks around him. We need to see him really just break out. For me, and Mike Williams is just solidifying that he's worth his value, and he's solidifying that he's worth the Chargers keeping him following this year, because as we know, he's a free agent after this year, so he's really got to show he's worth the money he's probably going to be asking for. And I did a video recently on whether or not Austin Ekeler will have a breakout player or have a breakout year, and I was thinking Mike Williams has a lot more on the line than Austin Ekeler. Austin Ekeler's got his money. We know receiving is kind of his go-to, and pushing the pile really isn't going to be his type of game like a Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb. And with the offensive line, he could still develop that run game, and the receiving back part is fine. Austin Ekeler is fine. Do we want to see better out of him? Sure. But more on the line is with Mike Williams. Like I said, his money's going to be on the line as he's a free agent this year, and just overhaul his worth of showing that he's worth keeping. Mike Williams seems like this injured guy. He's played 56 out of his 64 possible games through his first 4 years, and that's actually not that bad. It just seems like every single week, though, he's questionable or probable or doubtful. It's just he's always battling something, whether it be a hamstring, an ankle sprain. Just there's always something with Mike Williams, and that's kind of concerning. And he's really got to show this year he could be the guy that the Chargers can rely on as their number 2 receiver. And there's a couple ways to look at it. I'm looking at it like I do want him to hit that next level. I want him to be that great physical go up and get it guy, and they have an amazing dual threat duo between Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. I want that for the Chargers, but part of me is also like, I hope he's just the same and the Chargers let him go and someone else steps up. Josh Palmer, Jalen Guyton, Tyron Johnson. One of those 3 guys that are going to be on a cheap rookie contract, and you don't have to waste an extra $15 million on Mike Williams. Or maybe if you do want to spend some money, let Mike Williams walk and you bring in a Devontae Adams in the following year. I see it both ways. I want Mike Williams to pan out to be the guy, but I also want the Chargers to maybe cut their losses and look at this upcoming rookies or young cats. I've heard a couple of comments from you guys down below that Jalen Guyton and Tyron Johnson are looking great in training camp, and Josh Palmer's got the nickname Palm Trees in the training camp. Shout out to you guys, updating me through training camp, through everything I don't see. That's awesome to hear, and that kind of tells me, I want Mike Williams to do the best for this team this year, and I want them to compete every down. And I'm not going to complain if this guy turns out to put up 1,400 receiving yards. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just saying, if he does what he's been doing, I think the Chargers need to take it as a sign. Like, look, we appreciate you, Mike, but we just got to cut our losses. If you're willing to come back on a family discount, we're lucky to have you. But if you're going to still give us below 1,000 yards, battling an injury every single week, not panning out to be the guy, we're not going to give you $15 million or $20 million a year that you're looking for. We just can't. We're just losing money at that point. That's a Chargers opinion, but do I think he can hit that breakout level? I do think this is his best year yet. The Chargers are going to be more competitive than they have been. They made a decent run in 2018 with Phillip Rivers and Derwin James was there. Joey Bosa was at his best, and yada, yada, yada. You guys remember 2018, and then they got spanked by the Patriots, unfortunately. But still, since then, I do think this is the best year. Brandon Staley's going to be the guy. Hopefully, Justin Herbert's going to be on a sophomore tear. The offensive line is rebuilt. The defense is going to be healthy. They're going to be competitive, and that might help Mike Williams, Like I said, he's had 1,000 yards before. He averages 16.7 yards per catch. That's actually really good in my opinion. If he can just, like I said, stay healthy, put up 1,000+ yards, and to me that is a breakout year. He's just showing that he's worthy of staying on the team. But if he's going to be one of $15, $20 million a year, he's got to really up it to the next level. Plus 1,200 yards, 17 yards a catch. Show that both him and Keenan Allen are weapons 1A and 1B. Not just, there's Keenan, there's Mike. That we need him to be closer. I don't need Mike to really surpass Keenan, because Keenan's a tier 1 receiver in the league, but still we need him to reach closer to his level than have this big gap as of right now. We know Mike Williams has some great talent. He's amazing with the deep ball, the contested catch. He's a great go up and get it guy. but we need to see more of that. We know what he can do, but we need to see more of what he can do, if that makes sense. Overall, do I think this will be a breakout year? I think this will be his best year yet. I think he will have plus 1,000 yards. The highest he's had is 1,001. For a number of reasons. A, he's got Herbert now, the best arm he's probably had in 5 years to throw to him. B, more than ever, Keenan Allen's getting his recognition. There's going to be, some attention on him. C, there's 17 games to really work out a kinks. And Mike Williams, I'm sure he's going to miss some type of game. Even if he misses one, he'd now have 16 more as if it was a regular season compared to the new 17-game season. And C, I think this offense is just going to be extremely innovated and better than ever in the sense that there's protection, new offensive coordinator, and Joe Lombardi. And I just think with the defense being well-rounded, Joey Bosa, Derwin James, Asante Samuel Jr., Chris Harris Jr., Michael Davis, Uchenna Nwosu, Kenneth Murray. Probably wondering why am I talking about the defense. I think with the defense up and coming, it'll also help out the offense because it can help control the pace of the game. I know that I say that almost every time, but it's very, very important to help out the offense, control the clock, and just really play to their strong suits. And with that being said, I think Joe Lombardi and Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams can play to their ideal game designs of going with the schemes they wanted to, that they plan to. They're not stuck, down 14 points every single game. Now Justin Herbert just has to throw it as far as he can and hope for the best that someone's going to catch it because they're down so much. I think with them being able to control the pace, being dominant in the football game, they'll be able to play to their strong suits, and that can help Mike Williams develop into plays. Overall, if this cat could just play all 17 games healthy, I think he'll get his recognition, and I think he'll get his breakout year. Again, it really depends on how you define it. But I am concerned about some other guys cutting into his, playing time. If Jalen Guyton, Tyron Johnson, and Josh Palmer are looking that great in training camp, then we could see Mike Williams, not be the number 2 option at the end of the year. If Josh Palmer emerges or Tyron Johnson, whoever it is, if Mike Williams all of a sudden falls to the number 3 option on the team, that's not going to look good for him. And again, if he falls to the number 3rd option, I'm not complaining. That means the Chargers got someone good up and coming. And if Mike Williams wants to come back as the 3rd best option on a family discount, I'm open to it. But I'm just saying we need a breakout year for Mike Williams if he wants the money I'm sure he's going to be asking for. His players are getting paid a lot now. Devontae Adams is going to be paid $25 million-ish next year. To me, I'd rather pay Devontae 25 than Mike Williams 19. If I'm spending a lot of money, I'm going to spend the extra $6 million for the best guy in the league, and therefore it puts the Chargers in a sticky situation. But of course, they don't got to make the decision today. They have an entire year to plan out how they're going to work it out with Mike Williams. I'm excited to see it again. For me, breakout year really depends on how you define it. I think he will have his best year yet, but I still don't think it'll be so substantially amazing 1,400 receiving yards that it's going to tell the Chargers we need to keep him for the next 10 years. I think it's just going to be his best year, but still sticky situation. Yeah, he shows improvement, but he's had one amazing year compared to 4 iffy years. That's still worth signing ourselves to a 5-year, $100 million deal or whatever it's going to be. You know what I mean? Either way, we'll just have to see how it turns out. I do believe in Mike Williams. I think he has raw talent, a lot of pure skill. He just has some bad luck with injuries. I think even if he departs with the Chargers this year, he's going to go to an offense and bring a lot of value. Either way, I believe in Tom Telesco and Brandon Staley to really figure out. They've already executed this offseason. I don't expect them to make a big mistake with Mike Williams. I think they'll make the right choice, whatever it is, when the time comes. As always, and of course, guys, thank you for watching. Oh, and I guess referring back to the question today, where do I think I was finished in receiving yards? I'll say plus 1,100 again, topping his 1,000-yard season, but I'm not going to give him 1,300 yards just yet. As always, and of course, thank you for watching, guys. 2-minute warning.